What's up, y'all?
What you say? Oh, that you only meant well.
Introducing BBC News Channel, Channel 5. And your hosts, well, there's 4 of them, and that's all you really need to know.
Gee, thanks, Ashley. Hello, viewers. I'm one of your many lovely hosts, Vivian. Today we have a very important topic that we will discuss on BBC News Channel, Channel 5. The story you all know and love, well, I hope, Beauty and the Beast.
Thank you, Vivian, for that splendid introduction. But before we can go on, we need to give our viewers a brief summary about the original story.
Correct, Mary. Throughout history, Beauty and the Beast has had different versions in order to fit society's ideals. The different versions of the story demonstrate the evolution of subjects like gender equality.
In the original story of Beauty and the Beast, Belle's father is a wealthy merchant who has 6 sons and 6 daughters. Then Belle's father loses all of his money and ships. They later find out one of his father's ships survived and Belle's siblings all ask for something expensive, yet Belle asks for a rose.
Belle's father goes to town to get part of the money of his ship, only to find out that his own men had already split this money. He was determined to return home, but it is stopped by a storm and spends the night in a tree. He then finds a castle and went inside.
He falls asleep in a room and awakens to food. Eventually, he decides to leave and remembers his promise to Belle. He picks a rose from the castle's garden, but is soon yelled at by the Beast. The Beast tells Belle's father that if he wants to live freely, he has to bring one of his daughters to his castle, but they must come from free will.
He returns and gives Belle her rose and tells his family of the tragedy. Belle decides to go because it was her fault that this was happening. Belle then goes with the Beast. Each night the Beast asks her to marry him and she always says no. She also has a dream about a handsome prince every night.
Eventually, Belle asks to return home, and the Beast grants her wish. After returning home, Belle feels as if she isn't needed anymore, then dreams of the Beast dying. She quickly wishes to return to her Beast and finds him sleeping, though she tells him how much she loves him, and they get married, and he returns back to his normal self.
The original story of Beauty and the Beast was written in the 1740s by
Madame de Villeneuve.
During the 1740s, when Beauty and the Beast was first introduced, women were not as equally valued as men.
Women at the time were supposed to be skilled at household duties and finding suitable husbands. Women who were usually educated did not attract men and were considered strange. Notice that in the original Belle is called Beauty, but her looks were noticed more than anything else. The story was written to teach young girls that all they needed was to be beautiful and be able to cook, and they would have the marriage in the bag and no education needed.
In the story, Belle was known as Beauty and did not care for many things she does in the stories today, like reading. In fact, feminism wasn't known until the 1790s when Mary Wollstonecraft, one of the first known feminists, demanded for women's equalities. That was 50 years after the publication of the story. That's crazy!
If I may add in, women were eventually able to get an education, but at first it was only offered to the rich because the rich did not want to pay the taxes for the poor to be able to get an education, but eventually the girls did get an education with public money.
This next segment is going to inform our beautiful viewers why Beauty and the Beast has in a way evolved its ideas and has changed to follow a new genre of little people. In the past, it was not common for women to be educated, but as time changed, Disney decided to do their twist on it. Now I will let my fellow anchors discuss the magic behind Disney, Beauty and the Beast.
Compared to the original fable, Disney created their own version of Beauty and the Beast, where Belle is actually educated. Belle was educated because in the 1990s society, it was more common for women to be educated, but women who were educated were called strange. Belle does not fit in with society, but because she reads books, giving girls an influence to be different.
In the Disney version, Belle loves reading books and is educated, something that back in 1740 would have been an insult to men and would have been considered overpowering them. In 1991, women were viewed with much more respect. Belle is an example of how women had more respect because she turns down Gaston's offer of marriage, which would be unheard of in those times.
I'm pretty sure the majority of our viewers know this version, but did you know that in the 1990s, 60% of women started to work outside of their homes? Obviously, many things had changed since the story was first written, so it was only fair that the story evolved as well, which it did.
Exactly, Susan. Around the time that Disney created their version of Beauty and the Beast, women in society started to become independent and it became more common for women to be educated. Although women were educated, they were still treated like they were less than men. But Disney wanted to show the little girls that being smart was okay, because they knew that little girls would become inspired by the princess. So in order to teach them well, they decided to change the original archetypes.
Beauty and the Beast.
In the story of Beauty and the Beast, which was the original version of the tale, the prince was not turned into a beast for being selfish and unloving, but because he refused to marry his evil fairy godmother who tried to seduce him. Of course, Disney would not want its younger audience to see this and changed this purposely so it would be understandable and age-appropriate.
The theme of Disney's version is the same as the original. However, the archetypes change throughout time as society progresses. In the original story, the rose symbolized goodness and love. It symbolized this because Belle is given the rose and is the one who frees the beast from his curse because she sees the goodness in the beast and falls in love with him.
Well, in the Disney's version, the rose symbolizes the shame and the curse along with hope. The rose symbolizes shame and the curse because the beast was given the rose to show how shameful it was that he was selfish. Also, the rose symbolizes hope because it shows how there is a chance that the beast will find love.
Ever a surprise. Ever as before.
Now moving on from the 1990s, the most current version of Beauty and the Beast was actually created in 2011. That's 12 years after Disney's version. And society is still changing for the better. I almost feel like a proud mother.
Barbara, control yourself. You're making a scene. Again.
Okay, I'm fine. Now, Disney does grab the attention of 5-year-olds and whatnot, but wonderful creators of Once Upon a Time created their own version of Beauty and the Beast.
One of the more different twists on it is that Belle has a new beast, and his name?
Rumpelstiltskin!
He is also known as the Dark One. Grandfather Henry and Mr. Gold. Throughout the show, Rumpelstiltskin makes all the deals, and in my opinion, he is what brings all the characters and the plot together.
In 2011, women having an education became more common and was not questioned, which is why when Belle is reading books and just enjoying all the knowledge, it is normal. It is normal to everyone because women can be smart and not be frowned upon. The archetypes of this was changed because all of the viewers do not mind an intelligent woman like they would in 1740s.
Yes, I know after lots of years, in 2011 there were finally more women educated than men. A survey in 2009 stated that 58% of the graduates were women, and in 32 out of 34 countries, women are more educated than men. Go women!
We gon' celebrate.
The rose in the Disney version may symbolize the beast's curse, but in Once Upon a Time, they choose the dagger of Rumpelstiltskin to symbolize Rumpel's curse and love. The dagger represents the curse because Rumpel killed the original Dark One and then became struck with the curse and all its power, going from a cowardly man to the most feared creature in the realm, and the only way to break the curse is obviously with true love's kiss.
Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Barely even friends, then somebody bends unexpectedly. Just a little change.
The theme of Once Upon a Time is cowardliness can counteract actions of true love. This is the theme because even though Belle and Rumple loved each other, he was not willing to lose his power due to his cowardliness and fear of being seen as a weak, crippled man again.
And now if this wasn't clear enough for our viewers out there, yes, I'm talking to you. We're coming for you. Because here at Beauty and the Beast Channel News Channel, Channel 5, we care about you. And we want to make sure that we satisfy your thirst for knowledge.
We will now take your questions, and if there are no questions, then you are a lovely audience. But if there is, it's okay. Like Hannah Montana once said, nobody's perfect.
We'll see you next time when we discuss Shrek and his many onion layers.
Done with you.
I know, like, was I supposed to look? So I just looked up, like, okay. Just start dancing.
No sound.
No sound. Okay. This is Rumpelstiltskin's dagger. What I was flaunting in the video.
A very important topic that we will discuss on BBC.
Yeah, start out talking when you started too.
I feel like it'd be easier if we do like 2 and 2, so then we mess up or something.
Dang it!
Dahlia, control yourself. You're
Nayeli,
Grandfather Henry. Guys, that was so good.
I know, but it's funny.
Okay.
Okay, I'll do it again.
Wait. Skeletons.